Hey, welcome back to Oz Homestead. I'm Mark, and I'm going to show you today how to make wine, specifically Muscadine wine. So, things you're going to need. You're going to need your grapes. I've got roughly a gallon of Muscadine grapes that we picked last year and froze. And then you're going to need water, sugar, yeast, which I've got this awesome Red Star champagne yeast. This is what you want to use. And I'm going to go ahead and get this yeast activated first. So I'm going to take my yeast, and I got some warm water here in this bowl. Boom, got that in there. So we have our yeast, and we have our yeast booster. So what this is a North Mountain Supply yeast nutrient. So I like to add this stuff. Typically I use raisins for mead and stuff like that, but for this particular batch, this is my second time making wine. I've made mead for half a dozen years now. And so I'm gonna use this yeast nutrient, and then I've just got regular sugar to add for this. So like I said, I got my gallon of grapes, so I'm gonna go ahead and open these bad boys up. And we're using just a Lowe's 5-gallon bucket for this. Got our handy dandy potato masher that I took from the kitchen. Hopefully I don't get yelled at. And we're just gonna mash these bad boys up, y'all. We're gonna get them all juicified as much as we can, so that the yeast, when it's put in here with the water and the sugar, has something to attack and convert to man's best friend, alcohol. So like I said, this is my second time making Muscadine wine, and we have a nice vine in our backyard that produces a whole bunch of grapes every year, right? So I'm gonna kind of keep this process up every year, try to keep it going, because the folks that we like to use this as a gift, right? So we make a whole bunch of bottles every year, and we like to hand them out for the holidays. One thing that's important is you want to make sure you sanitize everything that you're using as much as you can. Just get it cleaned off. You know, a lot of folks are like, everything needs to be super sanitized. You need to wear gloves. Well, the reality is people have been doing this since the BCs. And so for a long time, humans have been making wine, mead, beer. So they didn't even know what germs were back then. So I don't think it's really that big a deal. And it's never, you know, I'm pretty moderate with how I sanitize everything. I'm like a normal person. And I've never had any issues. I've never had vinegar. But if you do screw up and you end up making vinegar, you can just put it on your salad. Add some warm water to this. I've added my warm water. So I'm just gonna mix everything up a little bit more. Look at that. Look at that purple color coming in. Now what we're gonna do, we got our yeast is started. We're gonna go ahead and pitch the yeast. Now for the sugar. So I did this last year, and I think I only did 4 cups of sugar, which is not enough. So I'm gonna do a lot more. I'm probably gonna do 7 cups, because 7's a lucky number. I'm not following any kind of particular recipe. I've just been experimenting over the years. So we got 1 down, 2, and I'm not gonna do a full one for the 7, but there we go. So that's like what? That's roughly 7 cups of sugar. That's a lot of sugar. Well, what happens is the yeast eats the sugar and converts it to alcohol. So it's not like it's gonna be ridiculous. Kind of feel like a witch making some kind of brew. And the last thing we'll add is our yeast nutrient. So I just did a capful of that. And then what I've done is I've taken the regular 5-gallon lid from Lowe's. I drilled a 3/8 inch hole, and I stuck a airlock on it. And that is just gonna go right on top here. Now that everything's packed away in the 5-gallon bucket, what we're gonna do is something called racking. And what that is you get a 3-gallon carboy is what I like to use, with a glass carboy. And then I strain this using a spaghetti strainer, and I try to get as much of the grapes and stuff like that out. And then I use a siphon. So just a simple, you can get this on Amazon. You siphon the strained mix that you have in here, everything that's fermented, you siphon that into the glass carboy, and then you put an airlock on this with like a cork. You let that sit for about a month, and then after a month, you'll tell that so that the airlock will stop moving, so it won't be bubbling anymore. And what I like to do is after just a month in here, I go ahead and bottle it. And these, like I said, once these are done, they make awesome gifts, and they taste amazing. Muscadine grapes are super sweet, they taste amazing, and when you make the wine, it's really good. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share the video, and go on our website, oz-homestead.com, and look at some of the cool hats we got that are embroidered, as well as some of the cool t-shirts that we got on there. And let us know in the comments what you think, and if you've done this yourself and how it turned out, what you recommend. I've been doing this for a while, and I'm pretty satisfied with the product that comes out of this, and like I said, makes a really good gift. So hope you enjoy the video.